very interesting trading week on the fixed income market. So let's review a bit of what we've done so far this week as we get today's final trading day started. The FMDQ exchange place. Let's get Bankole Odusanya, who is head of fixed income at UBA, to talk to us. Bankole, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Boston.
Great to have you. So recap the week so far. It looks like we started a bit on a quiet note. Then activity seems to rev up a little bit. Yesterday, it looks like trading in Naira bonds seemed to outpace treasuries.
Yes, it's been a very quiet week, and this is on the back of drop in system liquidity. This is the usual cycle that we have. Month-end, we get federal allocations, and then activities pick up on the short term. And then going into middle of the month, we see some level of quiet. But like you said, the treasury bill side, we saw more activity on the 16th of May, 6th of June bills, with some demand coming in on the long end of the curve. For the bond side, it's been more of sell-offs. And this is simply because yields are continuing to trend towards and closer to 15. We're at 14.6, 14.75 levels now. And this is very far off from where the bond auction stopped last month. 13.5 across the board, 2023, 2025, and 2028. 2023 is the only trade bonds that is in the market out of the 13 trading bonds in the secondary market. There are 2 new offers that will be coming upstream this month. On the 24th, that's on Wednesday, 24th of April, we expect yields to be higher than where they closed and at market levels. Market is currently at 14.65, as we said. Of course, there's a 30-year bond that is 2049 coming upstream. The duration of that bond is supposed to be higher, and then pricing is expected to be very high. That's in yield. So basically, it's a delicately poised situation on the bond side.
Okay, so technically speaking, all of these actions are wrapping up this week as we look forward to Statistics Office releasing March inflation data between Tuesday and Wednesday, perhaps as early as Monday on its calendar. Is there anything there for you as a fixed income dealer? Do you think this is one data that will be of any significance for your trading outlook?
Yes, Boston. Inflation is a very key factor for any interest rate trader. The yield curve now ranges between 12.9 to 14.75 levels. That's from T-bills to bond end. And what is happening is that with inflation at 11.3, there are forecasts that it will drop further to 11.2 or range within 11.2 to 11.4. However, when minimum wage hits the system, eventually when it is paid, we believe that inflation will spike. So every interest rate dealer or position taker will be considering real rate of return. Imagine inflation getting to 13 or 14, and then you are holding positions at 12 and 13. So really, we're watching that space carefully, and it falls into what pushes our plan going forward into long-term securities.
Okay. What's the system liquidity outlook for today as we wrap up the week? Any idea if this financial regulator, the central bank, will throw in any treasury sales to wrap up the week? Or you think the market is liquid enough or tight enough for the central bank to say, hold on, let's give you folks, Bankole and the rest of his folks, a bit of a breather. Let them enjoy the weekend. Then we'll get back on the train next week.
I think they're enjoying the breather already. There was no OMO auction yesterday simply because the system was very tight. And, of course, they have the data, and then it's simply just going into next week. We're coasting into next week. It's not a very liquid market. That was why they did not issue OMO bills yesterday.
Okay, so enjoy your weekend then. Have a tight liquidity. Enjoy your weekend, Bankole. See you at the other side. Thank you so much from FMDQ Exchange Place, the head of fixed income at UBA, one of Nigeria's commercial bank. Temple Ashaju is on the trading floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and this is our final trading day, the first call within the first hour of trading, as it were. Yes, within 2 days here, now stocks are still bouncing around. The trading floor, the index now seem to be looking for a breakout to regain some of its lost key indices. But we got our 11 trillion naira back yesterday, still very soft. Temple, I don't know how soft it is as we look at the trading day getting started right now. Coming here on the discussion, Temple.
Well, confidence in the market is still low, given that recovery that we saw yesterday that brought back the equity capitalization to just 11.02 trillion naira. But the fact that we're able to see the bears slowly fading away from the market gives us a bit of a respite. And of course, it's just to get investors to continue to watch how much of bears will probably set in if I put enough money on ground now. So you're going to be seeing a bit of cautious trading going forward in the market. So far this morning, we've seen a bit of a 0.02% decline in the key benchmark index. And of course, it's around the banking names because yesterday we saw a whole lot of buy interest on the banking side of the market. So you expect some investors to come in and, of course, to rake up some of those gains that we saw on those companies yesterday by way of profit taking anyways. However, if the sell side is not that much, we should see a bit of bullish sentiment again today to close the market. Maybe not as much as we saw yesterday, but something appreciable should come in today, Bosun.
EcoBank is one stock I'm sure you'll be watching out for Temple before the closing bell at 2:30 local time. With this announcement of $450 million US. EcoBank is teeing off our Eurobond cycle for this year. I'm sure Eurobond has had a bit of some news in the news box recently about its numbers and all of that. Now, this Pan-African bank with headquarters in Togo, Lomé, Togo's capital, is doing $450 million, about 9.75% thereabout, for a 5-year paper.
So this is a company that the last movement it had, I think, in the market was around a decline of 3% plus. That was about earlier this week, I think, or later last week. And of course, it means that investors have really been giving it a whole lot of cold shoulder. But the fact that they're coming up with this particular 5-year senior unsecured program actually gives them room to be able to do a whole lot more that they couldn't do. I mean, since 2017, a lot of companies like this, tradable on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, haven't really raised this much Eurobond, except for Fidelity Bank that had its own I think it was in 2017 or thereabout. And the fact that they're offering this attractive yield of 9% plus in the market gives room for a lot of investors to buy into it. It's about the highest after the one that was raised by some folks in Ecuador at about 10-point-something% yield earlier in January. So it will help them to meet a whole lot of obligations, debt obligations of the $200 million that they raised, I think, in November or thereabout, or it's actually due in November. This is a debt they took from banks. So right now we're seeing a lot of interest from development banks keying into it, and it's really a plus for them. So far this morning in the market, the company has secured some 2,000.
Yeah, please go ahead, Temple.
Yeah, so far in the market, it's trading around 10 naira 60 kobo or thereabouts, and we've seen some 2,000 units of its shares traded so far. We'll continue to see how that pans out before the market closes this week.
Yes, I agree with you, Temple. But again, if you're doing corporate Eurobond at about 9.75%, because you're owing, then you got to borrow to repay what you're owing. It looks like the debt book of EcoBank Transnational is not going anywhere anytime soon, because this is just like borrowing more on top of the existing loans that you already have. But let's see how this goes out, because $450 million US is still a whole lot of money. If you put them and try to stack them up, it's quite a lot. So I'm sure that money investors will say, fine, 9.75, that's good money. I can pick it up. But we'll see how it goes at the end of the book building and all of that. Temple, thank you so much. It's been great having you on the show throughout this week. Everyone, let's stand down from here, take a bit of a breather. Let's enjoy the weekend. Come back on Monday. Then we'll start to chew around Nigeria's inflation outlook. Inflation for March report. Some outlook says we'll be doing 11.2%. They will have the real numbers when we come back on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone, and goodbye from Lagos.